I'm talking with my dad about where he was during 9/11.
Okay.
So, Dad, would you like to share a um to share something about 9/11?
Well, on 9/11, September 11th, 2001, I just got promoted on September 1st to lieutenant, and I was assigned to the state police Bowling Green post 3 down Bowling Green. And I was actually on my way to Bowling Green when I heard over the radio that a airplane had flown into one of the tires, and they weren't sure what type of plane it was, if it was a commercial plane or what kind of plane it was, and they were talking like it might have been an accident, which I thought was pretty unusual. But as I'm driving the post, I'm getting a little bit closer, and I hear that the other tire was struck by an airplane, pretty much eliminating any doubt that it was an accident, showing that there was probably terrorism or some type of attack. So there's a lot of speculation on the news. But when I arrived at post, everybody there were several TVs on post, and everyone was glued to the TV set. It was, you could tell it was a shared experience. There's a lot of people. You knew that wherever there was a TV, it was on, and it was watching that. And as I walked through the post, you can hear people talking about it, speculating. And of course, at that time, nobody really knew what was going on, other than it was a terrorist attack. And during the day, we were watching it, and I was talking to one of my sergeants, and I looked up and I noticed that they showed the Pentagon on the news, and there was smoke coming from it. And I said, "Oh my gosh, that's the Pentagon." I said, "That's been hit too." So it was very obvious that we were under attack from terrorists or from some other means, and it was pretty devastating. And we were in our kitchen, and we had a big screen TV in there, and we were watching the trade centers. We were seeing people, jumping off, and all kinds of things happening. And then all of a sudden, one of them just collapsed and went down, and we were all like, "It's just unbelievable that a whole tower would go down like that." And then, of course, after it went down, there was a possibility that the other one went down, and shortly thereafter, it went down too. So it's pretty devastating. And back in 1998, I was at the FBI Academy going through some classes, and we had a New York trip. And I actually was at the World Trade Center. We went to the top floor and we took some pictures, which I have a few of those pictures. But even at that time there, I thought, how would they ever move these or destroy these buildings? And of course, now we know that it can be done that way. But it was unbelievable. And plus, I was also at the Pentagon too. We actually, when we went into the Washington D.C., we would drive to the Pentagon and get on the subway there. So I actually seen both the Pentagon and the trade towers, and so that made it even more personable to me.
Let's see. How old were you when it happened?
How old was I when it happened? Oh,
Yeah.
that was 12 years ago. So I was in my early 30s, mid 30s. But when I went to the FBI Academy, I was probably about 5 years younger than that, so about 30. You have any more questions?
What do you remember about the news reporting? What did they say?
Well, like I said, initially there was a lot of speculation what was going on, and but everything, the CNN, everything was focused on that. I mean, it was the people were bombarded with the images and the theories, and it was a constant. I mean, for a week there, everyone was watching TV, and it was what I would call a shared experience. The nation, was in panic, and I remember them showing the president when he was reading a book to some kids in school, and they told him about it, and I remember the reaction from the White House and the news broadcasting, the presidential speech to the nation, and at the time we were pretty unified because we come under attack, and there's a lot of American rhetoric and a lot of unity at that time.
Okay, that's all.
Well, do you want me to tell you what I remember about a routine day?
Yeah. Good idea, yeah.
Well, typically on a routine day, I would have just drove to my work assignment down in Bowling Green and did my 8 hours and would come home. But that, I think everyone's day was consumed by this tragedy. I mean, for weeks on end, and the very idea of that many people, 3,000 people around, that many people being killed, and all of them innocent, just civilians that had nothing to do with any type of agenda or anything. And to see, terrorists kill that many people at once, it really shows you that there is evil in the world, and, that terrorism is a big part of it. Okay?
Well, thank you for your time, Dad.
No problem, son.
And that's the news.